Since 2016, I feel like video game companies have been pumping out some of the most amazing games ever made, and I truly feel like we're in a golden era of video games, and we won't really appreciate it until we're back in an era of video games where one video game a year is utterly fantastic. I'm hoping that it stays the same this year, and judging by the games that are coming out this year, I really don't think that it's possible for this to be a dud of a year again. I really think we're going to be in another year of fantastic video games. I have picked out 7 games that I think are going to be really amazing and games that I'm really excited for, and I have a couple of reasons why I think they're going to be some of the best games that are coming out this year. This is my top 7 most anticipated games of 2019. Let's go. At number 7, it's Pokemon, the Pokemon RPG coming out for the Switch. I don't think I can say much about the actual game itself because I don't know anything about the game itself. There's been a lot of speculation because how well Pokemon Let's Go did. Are they going to keep the Pokemon Let's Go format, or are they going to go back to the original core format of the original Pokemon games, or are they going to do something completely different like they did in Sun and Moon? Either way, I don't think that it's really hard to mess up a Pokemon experience. It's really difficult because at its core, the most fun thing about Pokemon is that you catch Pokemon and you battle Pokemon. And to me, building up a team of Pokemon is one of the most fun things that you can do. When you finally have your final team and you're like, this is my team, you love those Pokemon and you cherish them, and all of a sudden it's like a party. It's like an RPG party, but in this case, they're like your best friends. Like every one of them, they're like your best friends, and you end up like caring so much about them. I feel like if they keep at the core goodness of Pokemon, I don't think that they can mess this up too much. Because even if this game had a bad story, even if this game had bad visuals, as long as it has like the core fun of a Pokemon game, you know, going around to different towns, battling people in those towns, saving Pokemon, saving people, having that one bad team that you have to defeat, whether it be Team Rocket, Team Skull, Team Aqua, Team Magma, it doesn't matter, that one team that you really want to defeat. Either way, I think that it's hard to mess this up, and that's why I'm excited for this game, because I love Pokemon. I have since I have Pokemon Silver. I did skip the DS games, but I played all the 3DS ones, and I am so excited to see what this is. Next on the list is Crash Team Racing. I've played the original Crash Bandicoot games, of course everyone has. I still think Crash 2 is one of the most amazing platformers ever made. If you play it today, even the original one, I'm not talking about the remastered, even if you play the original one today, it still holds up very well, and it's still one of the most amazing platformers I've ever played. But Crash Team Racing, the reason to be excited about this game for me is that the original Crash Team Racing on the PlayStation was amazing. It was fantastic. It's one of the best racing games I've ever played, mostly because it's very simple. It's limited characters, evil and good characters. You can pick different characters you want to play as. I always play as Dingodile because I like being different. I'm a contrarian sometimes, and also Dingodile looks like a freaking dope, like, you know. I'm not actually a contrarian, guys, okay? People are gonna come after me for that, but you know, who cares? I just think that like the original Crash Team Racing is fantastic. It has one of the best like racing games that I've ever played. So with updated visuals and online, I really think that this is going to be great. I don't know what else I can say about it other than I'm excited to replay a game that I already own, but in 2019. Yeah. I'm thinking about that now for a second, like, no, it's worth it. It's worth the money, because honestly, a bunch of my friends have been talking about how they're gonna get it and we're all gonna play together. And the idea that like when I was younger that I would be playing Crash Team Racing with people online would be like, I didn't know what online was when I was playing Crash Team Racing. The fact that now like we're gonna be able to do that is exciting. I'm fully excited for this game. Next up is Trails of Cold Steel 3. If you look at my top 50 favorite games of all time, Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 are both in that list. They are a fantastic game about a military school that is basically being under siege by an evil organization. It's very JRPG in its story, but honestly, it's not the overarching story that matters as much as it is the character development within that story. The first game, you are in a military school and you're going on different missions to different islands and different territories to save those territories. And each person in your group kind of gets to go back to their homeland, and you get to learn more about them. And I feel like it's such a cool way. You get to meet their families, what they live as, how they, how they grew up, and eventually you grow to like love them a little bit more. I think that happens with characters in the party that hate each other, and they go to their territories and they're like, oh, this is why he hates me, because he grew up like this, and people like me have been putting him down the whole time. no wonder he hates me. And then there's like this reconciliation moment where the other guy then goes to the rich guy's place, and you know where I'm going with this, but it's cool. He goes to the rich guy's place and he's like, oh, like, his father doesn't treat him very well, and he's not exactly like every other, like, rich person that I've met. Maybe I have been a bit harsh on him. And then all of a sudden, like, by the end of the second game, like, they're still kind of bickering, but it's like, I'm spoiling too much. I'm spoiling too much. But they're fantastic games, and I really think that you guys should try and play them. Trails of Cold Steel 3, I've seen the trailer for it, but I don't want to know anything more than that. I'm that type of person. I just want to play the games. There's a new crop of talent, because it is a military school, and obviously you can't just, like, have, like, you know, you can't just have like the same students, because that doesn't make any sense. Hogwarts wouldn't stay the same, you know. You can't have like 50-year-old Harry Potter in there. That'd be stupid. But I'm just excited for this game because I love those other two games, and I think the combat system, which is a turn-based system, is one of the best that you could ever play. It's really fun to use, and I think traveling is fun. I think the battles are always fun. It's a really fun game with great characters, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to fuck this up. Originally called Judge Eyes, it is now called Judgment over here. And there's about 3 million reasons to be excited for this, but probably the best reason is that it's the like spiritual successor to the Yakuza series. Now, if anyone knows, I put Yakuza, like the Yakuza games, in my top 15 favorite games of all time. A lot of people like look at them and go, oh, they're just like over the top violence. They're funny side quests. They're like this goofy like game where you can like do dance contests and stuff, I guess. But they are some of the most emotional stories you will ever get involved in. They're like, again, characters. I love characters more than I love story, but like you need both. You need both, and Yakuza has like all of that. They deal with love stories, with family history, with, you know, drama within clans, and it's kind of like Game of Thrones, but with like the Yakuza. It's so, of course they're amazing games to play, but I feel like Judgment is going to be a completely different experience, because you are dealing with kind of the same type of like villains and criminals, but this time you're coming from it at a perspective of like justice. You're not coming at it from the perspective of you're in the Yakuza yourself, and I think that's going to be a very, very interesting way of looking at things. Again, I don't want to spoil myself too much with this game. I've seen the original reveal trailer. I think that again, Yakuza always looks good. I know there's reviewers who like continually do this fucking like bullshit fucking comment, and I'm calling people out right now. Alright, when they do this thing where they say like, oh, like Yakuza continues to prove why it's not as good looking as other games. It's like, what is wrong with you? You're the same guys who, when Yakuza 0 originally came out, you gave it a bad review because you said it wasn't like GTA 5, when in reality, it's not trying to be like GTA 5. I'm mad now. I'm gonna move on. I'm excited for Judgment. It looks really cool. No disrespect to GTA 5. I'm just saying they're different games. This is where the list kind of got hard, because I was like, do I really like want to be more excited? Like, is there like a top 10 or top 7 version of this? I think I'm equally excited for the top 3 of this list, but I tried to like narrow it down by like millipoints, like little tiny like decimals. And Shenmue 3 is next on the list. I played Shenmue 1 and 2 for the first time last year. I was that asshole who was saying to everybody, this game isn't gonna hold up. You just know it. It didn't sell well, so like I don't think this game's gonna hold up. And then of course, I have never been so happy to be wrong in my goddamn life. These games not only hold up, but they are fantastic. They are hyper realistic, yes, but I feel like they really, and this is where I'm gonna get a little bit pretentious, I feel like they really do focus on like the boredom and the self-indulgence of being a teenager, you know. Ryu is a character who just focuses on himself. He doesn't care about like, he focuses on like the tunnel vision of his mission, you know, kind of making it seem like it's about his father. I really think it's about his own pride at the end of the day. But these games are unbelievably fantastic. Like I think one of the things people don't look at, like with Shenmue, like people talk about like now it's like, we followed a character in this game for a whole day, and it's like, yeah, you could do that in Shenmue. You could do that back in the year 2000, and it was amazing. And the fact that like, and I know a lot of people will say, well, in the context of the back then, it was an amazing game. But no, I'm telling you right now, it is still a fantastic game. And the story is great because it doesn't linger for too long. They let you meet characters and don't let you just stick with them throughout the entire game. You're not going to be going back to these characters for side quests. In fact, there's no really side quests. You can do stuff on the side, but there's no real like side quests. There's no real like, go to here, this is your check marker. You literally write down your notebook, maybe I should go to see this girl today, She's only around 11:30 to 12 when she's on her shift or something. Not 11:30 to 12, 11:30 to like 10 p.m. on her shift. So maybe I should go around that time, you know? And like that to me is like, it made a way. Yeah, it was more hard. It was harder to get around, but it was more fun. The fact that like I was like, oh, I'm lost. I'll go over to like a map stand and be like, where am I? Like that made the game feel so much more real. And yes, there's quick time events. Man, I love quick time events. I don't know anyone has a problem with quick time events. Of course, it would be very silly not to put the game Sekiro Shadows Die Twice on this list. For anyone who knows me personally, for any of my friends, for anyone on this channel, they know that I love the Souls series. I have played, you know, Dark Souls 1 and 2 more times than I can count. I've played Dark Souls 3 at this point, I think around 19 times. I just can't get enough of these games. And there's no burnout. There's never burnout with these games, you know? There's always just this more. I want more and more and more and more and more. That's all I want. Whenever I pick up Dark Souls for the first, I'm like, I'll just do like the first few bosses, like blink, and I'm like at the end of the game again. It's the same with Bloodborne. Like, yeah, I played it less, but like I played it like once for every single weapon in the game, and then sometimes again, like when I was, I wanted to help out my my friend who was started playing the game. Which, by the way, hello, you know who you are. You're fucking awesome. I am just so excited to finally get back into a game where exploration is just the game. It's like the game. It's like, it's so much fun to get lost. It's so much fun to not know what to do. And there's rare that happens in a video game. Because sometimes you're like, I'll look it up. But when you're in a video game, you're like, okay, I'll try going down this way. I'll try going down this way. And like every time you die, it still feels good. And I know this game is going to be different. I know they're not going to have a basic level up, so they're going to have a skill tree. I know they're not going to have, when you die, you don't lose your experience points. Which, you know what? That's good. They're differentiating the game completely from Souls. And also I know that everyone who's played the game has told me this is not Souls. If you go in and try and fight in this game like you're playing Dark Souls, you will get parried in 2 seconds and you will die. You will die over and over. You have to like completely think outside the box. But I just think Hidetaka Miyazaki's a fantastic director, and I don't think he's ever done me wrong yet, and I don't think he'll do me wrong now. Number 1 on this list is Resident Evil 2 Remake. I think probably the reason why it's number 1 is because it's so close. It's so freaking close. And again, if you look at my top 50 favorite games of all time, Resident Evil is there in the top 10. Resident Evil 2 is not there in the top 10, but there's a reason for that. And I really feel that like, I didn't want to put like cheat again. I cheated a lot with that list, but I didn't want to put like 2 of them on the game. Resident Evil 2 is an amazing game too. In fact, a lot of people believe it's better than 1, and like there's kind of like this debate, and I think a lot of people kind of like come to the conclusion like it's 2 that's better. For me, 1 is still better, but after playing the demo for Resident Evil 2, I definitely think that this could take over as my favorite Resident Evil game, because if it's just Resident Evil 2's story, Resident Evil 2's progression, Resident Evil 2's like, you know, bosses and like the fear factor in that game, if it's just that, but like updated controls, it plays better, it looks better, like the voice acting is better, like how can I not just go, this is the best Resident Evil game, and this therefore is my favorite horror game of all time. I've been thinking about the game all the time, to the point that like I pick up other games that I want to play, and I'm like, oh, I can't, I just want to play Resident Evil like 2, I just want to play it so badly, and which is why like I've been trying to like, you know, just like not like look at anything about the game since the demo, because I just want to play the game. I don't want to see your first 30 minutes of Mr. X footage. I don't want to see Leon in the sewers. Stop recommending me this stuff, YouTube. I just want to play the game. I just want to have fun with Resident Evil, and I'm so excited because Resident Evil is my jam, man. And like I think a lot of people probably feel that way, and we have this like, I don't know if it's a joke or not, but we have this like running joke in the comment section for the last time of like, man, Leon is one of the best looking protagonists we've ever seen in our freaking lives. I'm so excited for Resident Evil 2, and I don't know if it's going to be a Let's Play on the channel. I really don't, because I think that it's going to be an experience that I'd like to probably just turn off the lights, not say a word, and just like get under the covers or get under a blanket over my head and just like play the game myself. But I am truly excited to hear all your guys' opinions on it, and I think that it will be interesting. I can't wait. I cannot wait for like seeing other people playing it as well. And it's the Resident Evil engine, which, you know, is like the right use for that game. Like the best looking games in history, you know, and it is a very popular Capcom franchise, and we gotta love Capcom, man. Like, yeah, they made a bad decision, I think, with Street Fighter 5, but I think they're always making good decisions for Resident Evil. They know that Resident Evil fans love this type of game, and after Resident Evil 7 did so well, they're like, well, I guess we'll keep doing horror because people want good horror, because we were starved of good horror for so long. So that was my top 7 most anticipated games of 2019. Guys, in the description below there is a video that you can submit your top 7, not top 7, but your favorite most anticipated games that you want to see and play in 2019, and I would love to hear from you guys, and I'll be reading them out at the end of the month. And don't worry if it's a game that's going to come out before the end of the month. I will still read it out, and we'll talk about like what you love about those games. You can make it as long as you want as well, guys. I will read it out. I don't mind it being a long video. This month had the most submissions of any of the community videos so far, which was insane and also exciting, and it made me very happy, and I don't think I've stopped smiling since I saw it. So thank you guys for that, and I'll see you very soon.